What is that?
I've never been more embarrassed for white basketball in my entire life than what was just on TV, and their names are KKKKKKKK. Like, what is going on?
I was about to mention that that's probably too many Ks for some organizations.
You are listening to the Group Chat Podcast.
And good evening to everyone, and welcome to the Group Chat Podcast. Case Gisclair here with the boys. Nick Hebert to my right, Damien St to my left, Tommy Badeaux at his River Ridge Studios. We've got a fun show coming your way today. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things, and in the world of fighting, we're going to talk about some boxing stuff. We got some MMA stuff to cover. We got Bryce Boudreaux, who will be joining us via the phone lines in just a minute to talk about Cage Warrior Championships 37, which was this past weekend out there in Houma. We will talk about LSU baseball winning the national championship in the College World Series. And, oh, yeah, we're going to be live during the entirety of the first round of the NBA draft. So should have a fun show coming your way. We've got a bunch of different things to talk about. We will be ranking things a little later on. We got a Rank Dat segment. Looking forward to that. We got some really tough ones in that. Lead off the show, kind of asking you guys like we always do. How was the weekend? How'd everything going? What's life like right now for the boys?
I'm really glad that we decided not to come on Sunday evening because I had a lot of hate, man. A lot. And I'm not one to really cry on Facebook about sports. I cry about everything else, but man, it was bad.
It wouldn't have been a good it wouldn't have been good energy release. It would have been hateful energy release.
Yeah, and just to let everybody in on the know, obviously we're talking about travel basketball and the debacle that could possibly be at times. If any coaches are listening, Landmark International, don't go to their events because they're complete trash. No reason to follow the rules. All you got to do is maybe mention something, and you cleared from any rules that may happen. Hats off to the team that beat us because they beat us. But when you come with 7 new players on Sunday that you didn't have on Saturday, and the rules state that you have to have played in a game on Saturday to be eligible to play on Sunday, a little frustrating. And then you got 2 kids with 7 fouls that don't foul out. And it's just absolutely dreadful. That's Landmark International. Do not go to their events. They're complete garbage.
Where was their tournament at?
This was at Madison Prep High School in Baton Rouge. I did get talked to Coach Jones out there. Really, really good guy.
Yeah.
We chatted for a while. He told us some stories about how he came down to South Lafourche when Ross West was playing, and how he went down to ECO and got to see all the boats, and he went down to Fouchon and stuff. That was pretty cool. Coach Jones, multiple state championship winning coach. It's good to catch up with those folks.
Good deal. What about you, Nick? How are we doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good this weekend. Watched LSU win a national championship. That was pretty cool.
Let's go.
Watched the Pacers blow it in Game 7.
Not good.
Yeah. Blow it as in an Achilles. Blew it. So, Sunday was pretty cool. Nothing has happened yet this week. Looking forward to today. Let's go group chat.
This week has absolutely blown by.
Yes, it has. Oh, my God. It's already Wednesday. We're going to be at the weekend before you know it. But let's talk about it, boys. This weekend, we've got some boxing stuff. Deontay Wilder will be fighting in Wichita, Kansas. That'll be on pay-per-view, $24.99. And, boy, it's crazy. Deontay Wilder is not even the biggest fight of the weekend, because you got Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. this weekend as well. But let's start with Wilder taking on Terrell Herndon, 24-5. Or you guys are buddies with one of the members of his team. I don't know that I need to see him fight again. Must win if he wants to get another fight in his career. What are we expecting to see from the Bomber this weekend?
Probably a quick knockout, if I had to guess, just looking at Herndon's record. Nothing crazy. He's got multiple wins against people with really bad records. He's got a loss against somebody that's probably shouldn't have beat him. Just a get-back fight for Deontay Wilder. Expect him to dominate. Pretty cool that he's fighting in random Wichita, Kansas. I think you mentioned the arena already. It's where the Wichita Shockers play their basketball game.
Charles Koch Arena.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. 10,000 seats. Undercard littered with some interesting fights for sure. I know $25 will not keep me away from watching that fight.
You're fighting a dude in Herndon who last fight won a split decision against a 7-0-1 dude, Rudy Silvas. But the fight before that won a split decision against Myrie Coleman, who's 8-9. So that's not the best. A dude who got knocked out by Richard Torres. I mean, Nick, look, Wilder's got to knock this dude out, right? I mean, like, he's got to get him out.
It should be a first-round knockout. Wilder's on a different level than this guy. I know Wilder's lost 4 out of his last 5 fights, but he's still on the top tier of heavyweight boxing, and this guy is not on that level. This guy, he got TKO'd in round 1 by Corey Barlow, who's 2-4-2.
Eesh.
And the guy hasn't fought in a year. He hasn't fought against top guys, and Wilder, all his fights are against top guys. Should be easy work for Wilder. Look for a first-round knockout, and he's looking for a bigger fight after that. But it shouldn't be too difficult for.
So let me ask you the same question Casey asked me weeks ago about Victor's fight, Nick. What does Deontay Wilder have to do to Terrell Herndon to make this a successful night for him?
He's got to get him out quick. He's completely capable of knocking this guy out early, within the first minute of the first round.
Even being off for that long and not having success in the ring?
I think he's 24-7 on a low tier of boxing. Boxing has tiers, and if he steps up, he might be a 24-7 guy on whatever tier he's on right now. If he steps up to the elite tier, he's an 0-15 fighter. Once he gets in there with Deontay Wilder, who's fighting elite fighters, it is going to show that he's not ready for that tier of boxing. And he's going to get out pretty quickly.
If this is a 10-round unanimous decision win where he wins like 7-3, how embarrassing would that be?
Very embarrassing. This guy, his last few wins have been against nobodies and has been split decision wins, or he's getting knocked out by very, very bad competition. So if Deontay Wilder wants any more fights after this, he needs to get this guy out quick.
Do I think this is going to be competitive? Absolutely not. Pretty funny and interesting story. So JD's friend of mine, Deontay Wilder's manager / training assistant trainer, or whatever his title is, just all around good dude. They were in training camp in Boston right after the marathon bombing.
Mm-hmm.
And Deontay Wilder calls his team the Bomb Squad.
Oh, boy.
So they all had Bomb Squad shirts on.
Oh, yeah, that's always good.
Yeah, that's rather interesting.
That's always a good thing.
You are listening to the Group Chat Podcast.
So we go to the phone lines and we welcome Mr. Bryce Boudreaux to the show to talk some boxing, talk Cage Warrior Championships 37, and maybe even a little wrestling. Bryce, what's good, man? How we doing today?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you guys so much for having me on. It's an absolute pleasure, and looking forward to it, guys. It was a great weekend for fights.
It sure was, man. Let's talk about it. Cage Warrior Championships 37 went out into Houma, and everything that I heard from people who were there, it was a great show, and the fans left really happy and really pleased with what they saw. Tell us about the show.
It was my first time ever working for Cage Warrior Championship. I've been knowing Justin Verdun for quite a few years now. We've always wanted me to come down there. It just hasn't worked out with my schedule. Finally, I had the opportunity to go down there. Guys, my first time announcing in Houma, Louisiana in 5 years since before the pandemic. I think the last time I announced in Houma was at the East Park Rec Center for Pro Wrestling 225. So it was cool to be back in Houma. The crowd was great. The crowd was lit. The fights were fantastic. CWC gives a great opportunity to a lot of the youth fighters in the future of fighting. The card was made up of a lot of those youth fights, and then we had your main card of regular MMA fights. I was very impressed. I really was.
Bryce, tell us about the tag team MMA match. Justin was on there trying to explain last week what that was. That sounds interesting. What was it like watching that?
Well, I've seen them before. Tag team submission only grappling, or tag team submission only jiu-jitsu, whatever you want to call it. I've announced plenty of those all over Texas, Houston, Dallas, a lot of those big jiu-jitsu hubs. Raging Fighting Championship and Bayou Fighting Championship has done those in the past as well. I mean, they're entertaining. I've heard people say that it's not really their cup of tea, but it's kind of like a bang for your buck, just a little something extra. You didn't think you were going to see that, and I tell you what, man, the crowd did not expect it. And whenever it happened, the crowd was like, "Wait, what? A tag team? So they're going to get on the outside of the cage? How's this going to work?" And I just kind of loosely just said, it's tag team submission only. Each submission equals 1 point, and that's it. And so, dude, the crowd ate it the hell up. They had such a great time with it. I was shocked, and I remember after the bout, I was like, Would you guys like to see more of that in the future? And the whole crowd just, yeah. So maybe we'll see it in the future on another CWC card.
No doubt, man. Look, tell us about the main event. We had the local guy, Borkowski, making his professional debut, taking on the experienced fighter, but the local guy came out on top. I'm sure the place was going nuts.
First of all, I got to say, man, Nick Gay, that dude is no joke. For years, he held the top spots in multiple weight classes in the rankings of Louisiana fighters on Topology. I've seen him fight multiple times. I've announced him fight. Look, I mean, he's no lightweight. He is the real freaking deal. And Joe Borkowski, it just goes to show you how good Joe is. I'm really happy for Joe, man. He got the big time W in front of a hometown crowd, and happy for Joe. I mean, main event Joe Borkowski, you can call him at home.
Bryce, a lot of lead up into that fight. A guy in his professional debut taking on somebody like Nick Gay with 15 professional fights, no matter how many he's won or how many he's lost, still definitely a solid opponent. How did you feel about the stoppage? Because I did get a chance to watch it on pay-per-view. I was unfortunately out of town, didn't get a chance to go, but was that a little quick? I know the announcers on the live feed were pretty disappointed. I'm not sure how the crowd reacted, but it seemed like it was a little quick.
Well, you have an established official with Joe Blessed Pepe as the official for that bout. Joe now has a nickname. Everybody's got to have a nickname now for officials. I have no idea why, but Joe is the Blessed Goat. But Joe is an established official, and at the end of the day, it's all about the safety of the fighters. And even though the fans might think, oh, well, you can't stop it that early. At the end of the day, they don't know what it's like to be in that cage, to be within a few inches from those fighters. Whenever Nick Gay was not defending himself in that situation, ultimately, he's the official's looking into his eyes and he's looking at him. And if he's not defending himself, then he's got to do what's best for that fighter. And you don't want Nick Gay to have severe brain damage or anything crazy before he turns 50 or 40 or however old Nick Gay is. But I think it was the right call. I've seen some in the past where an official came in. It was like an RNC, and an official came in. The crowd lost it because they felt like the official stopped it too early, and the crowd's hometown boy lost, and they were riot. But at the end of the day, the crowd has absolutely no idea what it's like to be in that cage, to look into the fighter's eyes and see what's really going on. It's all about the health and safety of the fighters at the end of the day. We're not going out there and making them sign up to kill each other, even though it is technically legalized murder. Once that cage door closes, you're accepting everything to happen. So
I thought throughout the night that the sportsmanship showed between all the fighters, whether it be the youth, the women, the main event. I thought that was very classy on everybody's part. You mentioned that aggression in the co-main event. It was a female fight. And I thought it was a kind of a tale of 2 rounds, I guess, or almost a round and a half. You had I believe they were from Texas. You had a boxer pretty much against a jiu-jitsu female, and just the styles of fights. It was pretty interesting to see. And towards the end of that first round, the jiu-jitsu, I guess, martial art took over and definitely beat the boxer.
That is a great point. And Angelica Guzman, out of Plainview, Texas, and the gym that she's out of, Extreme out of Plainview, I believe. Man, they're just absolute double tough West Texas fighters. Raul Rosas, one of the guys that actually went through that gym. I'm sure you guys know who that guy is. Chihuihuis. But Angelica Guzman is legit. I remember seeing her earlier in the day, and dude, her personality, she was just having a great time before a fight. Like, it's like she was on cloud 9. And I remember talking to Brianna Roper, and she was just kind of locked in, laser focused. At the end of the day, Angelica Guzman got the victory in round 2, I believe. And Angelica Guzman, a lot of people don't know, but I mean, she got into MMA to like get in better shape. We were talking at the end of the night, and she showed a picture of herself, what she used to look like and what she looks like now. I mean, it's crazy. Like, she just got in to get into better shape, and she's like, hell, I'm going to be a professional fighter. So happy for her, man. Hell of a win. And you talk about sportsmanship. I mean, right after the end of that bout, both girls got on the canvas and prayed. It was very cool.
Bryce, let's talk a little professional wrestling for just a second and shift gears. You mentioned, when we were talking about the stoppage of the main event, how it's the goal to keep all of the fighters safe. WWE this weekend is taking their guys from America and moving them within 900 miles of what is currently a war zone. What is going on there, man? Like, I feel like this would have just been so easy. Like, hey, let's just move this to Las Vegas. Let's postpone this, whatever it may be. They better be really sure that they could secure everything out there in Saudi Arabia, especially when you have Iran saying any target that's American is a target of ours, and you're willingly going 900 miles away from the country's borders this weekend.
Yeah, I have friends that work with the with WWE, and I have a friend of mine, and I'm actually looking at what his recent social media post, and he's pretty much like, we're all good. We're over 1,000 miles away from all the crazy actions going on right now. You're right. They could have easily rescheduled the event because of what's going on. I don't know, what the deal was with why they couldn't. Maybe they felt like they're not in danger. Maybe Saudi Arabia assured them that nothing would happen. So who knows? I think things will be okay. I pray that things will be okay. Saudi Arabia shows have been nothing short of controversial.
Yep.
I guess a lot of people don't like them with our situation going on currently. Was it the best move to have it out there? Maybe move into like a indoor building. I don't know where they're doing it at, but I think things will be okay with Saudi Arabia. I'm maybe guaranteeing their safety. I remember they had some dirt sheet saying that it was some stupid post that they made. And they're like, WWE staff and athletes are currently being held hostage on an airplane on the tarmac in Saudi Arabia. I'm like, really? Really? Like, come on, just to get clicks. Like, Jesus Christ. But look, I mean, I don't know. I barely watch the WWE pay-per-views. I've always, look, man, maybe I'm crazy, whatever, but I've always liked the fact that there's people across the water over there and these countries that have never seen professional wrestling before and never dreamed that they would be seeing it live. And they're getting to see it live, despite what political agreements have been made to make the country look better or whatever. Those fans are seeing things they never thought they would see. So God bless them. And I just hope everybody's safe and everything is okay. And all of our WWE superstars and talent and staff come home safely.
Yeah, amen. Very well said, man. And look, in the world of boxing, we got a Jake Paul fight this weekend. We got a Deontay Wilder fight this weekend. Let's talk about the Jake Paul fight for a second. He's the big phenomenon. He's the big, star, generates all the clicks and everything of that sort. Fighting Cesar Chavez Jr., who is a little over the hill. That's kind of the Jake Paul specialty, but he's a guy who has some skins on the wall. What should we expect this weekend when those two go toe-to-toe?
Jake Paul wins.
Decisively?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to think so, too. Knockout?
Anything to make Jake Paul look good. It's what I've said for years, and people have called me an idiot for it. I mean, whenever Jake Paul beat Tyson, and I told everybody Jake Paul's going to beat Tyson, they were like, oh, you're crazy. I'm like, it's boxing, and they have to keep selling these. What do you think's going to happen? I mean, especially with Jake Paul. Why are you watching that fight? You're not watching just to see a boxing match, an athletic contest. You're watching because you want to see Jake Paul get beat. And you're not going to see it. They got to keep selling this. They got to keep it going and keep it going and keep it going until one day Jake Paul will fight somebody that's going to match his level, and he's made his money, and it's time. No pun intended there. But, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. I think Jake Paul wins.
It's almost like a wrestling angle, right? They're billing him up.
Absolutely.
Only to just get squashed at the end, right?
Dude, the same people that told me for years that wrestling is fake are the same people that thought that bought into the fact that Conor McGregor was going to beat Floyd Mayweather, and the same people that thought that Ronda Rousey was going to. Well, I mean, Ronda Rousey did, but whenever Ronda Rousey fought that Brazilian girl, killed her within the first round, everybody's like, that Brazilian girl talked about Ronda Rousey's dad. Like, yeah, you're bought into it, right? Like, so anywho, but yeah, that's what I think about that.
At the end of the day, pro wrestling can be looked at on every single level, and that's what sells.
Yep.
Pro wrestling angles sell in real life.
Prize fights.
Yep.
Prize fights. That's what that is. It's a prize fight that you pay just to see. Boxing has their guy, their poster boy. It's no longer Mayweather. They have their poster boy that you pay to watch to potentially get beat. And he ain't going to get beat anytime soon.
I'm with you there, man. I know you were saying just a second ago that you don't follow the WWE pay-per-views, watching them live too much, but have you been following the John Cena retirement storyline? He's now the champion after WrestleMania, and I got to tell you, there's some people that are thinking he might get beat this weekend out there across the pond. He's been leaving CM Punk laying every week. Is there a chance that the championship run ends this weekend?
No, but I don't know. I don't know when it will. I have no idea what they're planning on doing. No idea. I love the pipe bomb promo that Cena cut the other night.
That was good. Yes.
I haven't even looked at the match card for this Saudi Arabia show. I guess R-Truth will interfere and whatever. Cena ain't dropping the title anytime soon, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Same. That R-Truth, that whole R-Truth storyline, I thought that was a pretty good swerve attempt, just to get the smart marks in the boat and thinking that he was actually released. I was one of those guys.
As soon as he posted on Twitter, he's like, "Sorry guys, I've been released." I'm like, "It's got to be at work." I mean, I can smell the work, dude. I can smell the work.
That's the type of stuff that keeps me engaged with that. And I like you. I'm not very tuned in to what's going on right now. Just kind of watching the big headlines, but little things like that just keep me grounded and keep me pulled in. Bryce, what's on your schedule coming up, man? Where do we find you?
Tomorrow night, I'm back at Joe Miller Ballpark, hosting for the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators baseball team Thursday and Friday night. Saturday, I'm headed back to New Orleans. It's been a minute for Bayou Fighting Championships, biggest party of the summer. Yash in the main event. It's going to be great. Been a while since I've announced in New Orleans. Feels like an eternity, but we've just taken a break from doing shows consistently every month. And now we're back at the end of June. Sunday, I'm back at Joe Miller Ballpark, on-field hosting for the Gumbo Gators. And that'll continue on. A couple days I'm off. First week of July 3rd and July 4th. It's going to be a massive tribute to America, tribute to the best country on earth on Friday night, July 4th, as I'll host for the Gumbo Gators. It's going to be a big 4th of July spectacular, free admission. I'll be hosting on and off with the Gumbo Gators all summer until August. As far as combat sports go, on July 19th, I'll be announcing in Houston, Texas for Elevate Submission Series. And July 26th, I'll be back on the Mississippi Gulf Coast working with my good pal Ricky Derwin. It's been a while, but I'll be back for his newest venture, Gulf Coast Gloves. Some of the best boxers from Southern Hand Slugfest, the best of the best, will actually have legit boxing bouts instead of slugfest-style bouts. And we will find out who is the best of the best at Gulf Coast Gloves. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But that's what I've got for July. August is a whole nother animal. It just never stops. Whenever you're Bryce Boudreaux, my schedule is crazy. August 10th, Elevate Submission Series back in Houston. August 16th, Elevate Submission Series in Dallas. And then August 29th, Baton Rouge, LaBerge Hotel and Casino, Titan Combat Championship, the day before LSU plays Clemson. So I've got to figure out how to get to Clemson, South Carolina, maybe by train. And we'll find out.
That's good stuff, man.
Bryce, I know you've seen Victor Hernandez a handful of times. He's in our chat. He wanted to make sure that he said hello to you. Tell us about Vic, man. He's one of the hottest prospects in the state, in the Gulf South. Tell us your opinion on where he could go and just what he's done so far in his career.
The jalapeno from La Pointe. Dude, bro, I love Vic. I love his whole team. Vic's got such a bright future. I hate the fact that I haven't been able to announce him these past few go-arounds, but that's neither here nor there. But hopefully one day I'll be able to announce him again. Whatever he does will turn into gold. He's got the right team behind him, and we will see what happens, man. He's going to be one of those guys that you see on TV one day. I guarantee it. So, and he's got the hell of a personality, too. He's got it, and I wish nothing but the best for him, man. It's always a pleasure announcing him, always a pleasure seeing him fight. And, so the sky's the limit. Like I said, the jalapeno.
There you go. And look, he actually pronounced the point right. That's impressive.
Because he's had to announce him from there multiple times. That's where Victor makes sure that he's from. He represents.
Dude, there was some fighter that I announced, and they were like, I'm from Cutoff. And like somebody's like, nah, he ain't from Cutoff. And he named some nickname of a city, and I never heard it before, and it was in French or something. And I was like, what? And it just sounded fun. Everything in French sounds funny, but and what he said was just, I'm like, I've never heard of that. He's like, it's a nickname for the area. It's kind of like Le Point, the point. This is something different, So I don't know. I've never heard. I forgot what the guy told me, but I said it. Maybe you guys remember. Hopefully in the future I'll be back with CWC. It was the first time ever, and maybe I'll be back in the future. I hate like hell that I haven't been able to go down there sooner, but it's not completely out of my control.
All right, all good, brother. Thanks so much for the time. Be good and safe travels. You got a busy summer ahead, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on. I look forward to doing it again in the future if you want.
100%.
Open invite for sure. Thanks, Bryce.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you guys.
We appreciate Bryce Boudreaux doing a good job. And look, you told us before he came on and said, hey, look, man, he speaks well. He's very bright. Yes, he is. He did an outstanding job there. A little insinuation that those Paul fights might not be straight edge there. I like that because I tend to agree. But he did say that it looked like it was a good time at home, and everybody that I know that went said the same. A lot of folks were doing the whole watching the game on the phone, watching the fights in the cage type of thing. It was a great night, and everybody seemed to turn out. Big crowd, and it was another good event by Justin Verder and his team.
They do a fantastic job, and being able to order that on live stream and not being home and not being able to go and still witness the action was pretty neat. Definitely worth my $21.99 for sure.
Y'all, the NBA draft is about ready to start. We will be keeping you up to date with what the Pelicans are doing. They are going to be supposedly one of the more active teams. We'll give our thoughts and our reactions on the McCollum trade, which happened yesterday, which netted the Pelicans the 40th overall pick. That won't be today. That'll be tomorrow in the second round. But there's a lot of people saying they might use that 40th pick as leverage to kind of maneuver or trade or whatever it may be. The two guys I've seen linked to them are Dookies, both of them.
You're surprised by that?
Nope. I guess the third one would be the guy from Rutgers that nobody else wants.
Yeah, I would like VJ Edgecombe. That would be nice. Use our picks to trade up.
Here's the thing about college basketball, and I watch a little college basketball now. I don't even know who any of these guys are, bro.
Nice.
Like outside like the first 3 or 4 dudes, don't even know who any of these guys are. So let's talk about this, shifting gears slightly. We've now had 2 picks in the draft. We have Flag go first to Dallas. Harper goes second to the Spurs. I know you were watching this. First, that crowd shot of the people in Maine was the most pathetic thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. People having like construction paper signs like, hey,
and we love picks or something.
Like, that was the most forced thing that I have ever seen in my life. That's the first thing. The second thing, when Harper gets picked, like you would expect a dad to be excited. Ron Harper is miserable. He's like, why am I here? He's yawning. He wants to go to sleep. Like, no excitement, no energy so far in the draft.
He's old. It's like, where's this draft happening at? Is it Central Time?
I think it's always in New York, huh? The Garden, I believe.
I don't know. The NBA draft is probably the least interesting thing in the world to me. But, yeah, he's old. He wants to go to bed. He played with Jordan. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
He's been talking about how there's multiple Rutgers players going in the top 10. Their record was 15-17 on the season, 8-12 in conference. What conference would they even play in?
They're with Ohio State now. Did their coach keep his job?
He shouldn't. Apparently he's a good recruiter, but he's not a good coach.
Who was their coach, Johnny Jones?
So you getting Dylan Harper going at 2. You got Ace Bailey probably going 5-6 area, and you can't even get a winning record in conference.
And that's the thing, Nick. Like your Rutgers, your non-conference schedule is going to be 10 teams that you should beat,
right? At
least right off the top. So that means they didn't beat anybody. That was a 50-50 game all year long.
Rutgers losses this season: Kennesaw State, Alabama, Texas A&M, Ohio State, Princeton, Indiana, Wisconsin, Purdue, Penn State, Michigan, Maryland, Iowa, Oregon, Michigan, Purdue, USC. So
you got 2 top 10 guys. How you losing to Kennesaw State? Go pull up Kennesaw State's schedule and tell me some of the teams they lost to.
Kennesaw State got them by 2 at
There ain't
Kennesaw State.
no way they were worth the
Schedule.
Nope.
Whoever CBU is,
There's
UCI.
No
There's teams that they lost that I don't even know who they are.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. And they're beating the team with the lottery picks, man.
who was the rest of their roster, though?
That's a good question.
It doesn't matter.
That's exactly when you're playing Kennesaw State. That's exactly right. It doesn't matter.
Let's see, guard Dylan Harper. There's Ace Bailey, Nick Hebert, Casey Gisclair, Damien St, Pierre, Tommy Badeaux. Not bad. 15 and 17 with that group.
The best practice team ever.
They put it on the Merrimack Warriors for sure.
The Pelicans made a trade yesterday. CJ McCollum, adios amigo. Pelicans get Poole from the Wizards. I think we would all agree that this doesn't make the Pelicans a championship contender, sure, but they are shuffling the deck. They're trying some things. I think that Saddiq Bey, if he comes back healthy, is a good piece. The only question I would have is that McCollum was an expiring contract, and the one thing that the Pelicans don't have is salary cap flexibility. Jordan Poole's in the contract for 2 years, so that kind of is a little puzzling to me, why they would take longer-term money. Tommy, I know you looked up this a lot, and I saw you debating it with fans on social media a little bit. What were your thoughts as New Orleans pulls the trigger and goes ahead and gets rid of probably their leader in C.J. McCollum, brings in Jordan Poole, and just kind of rearranging things a little bit?
I mean, so just to kind of answer exactly what you said, I don't think they were a championship contender before the trade anyway.
Right.
So I like that they got younger. I think this might have been some Murray insurance because Poole, although not a true point guard, plays a lot with the ball in his hands. The Zion's a point forward. I don't mind the move. We get younger. I do like Bey. He's a nice 3-and-D guy. He hustles, plays hard-nosed defense. Didn't play last year.
No, he's not.
You just described a white guy.
Saddiq Bey.
He has a great motor.
Yeah. High motor. Real lunch pail kind of guy.
Coach's son.
Nick, you're a big Pels guy.
If anybody's getting beat up by Draymond Green, I don't want him on my team.
Well, reportedly, a lot of the Warrior locker room kind of lost respect for him after that, and that's part of the reason why he got traded. Like, he got knocked out cold.
Got pieced up.
Right. So it's not a big, tough guy that you're adding. McCollum was kind of your leader. But I think Tommy touched on also, like, you ain't winning with either one of them. So you get a younger piece. We'll see. Here's what I want to say. Like, I'm not crazy about the move right now, but if it leads to some other things, like, this is just part one of a process. We'll see how it goes.
The little bit I've seen from Jordan Poole, he reminds me of this AAU kid that you would see at a tournament that's just jacking up shots and not playing defense, and that's not going to win you any games. Apparently, he don't get along with half his teammates, and if he's a ball-dominant guy, he needs the ball in his hands, so does everybody else now in the NBA.
Good stats, bad team.
He's not going to help us out. I seriously doubt we're getting him to buy out his contract. The Pelicans don't want to spend any money. You can't trade him. Once you get him in a trade, you can't trade him for a certain amount of time, so he's going to be on the roster for a while. I don't like it, and there's not much the Pelicans do that I'm like happy about, but this is definitely not it. They're going to pick Con Knipp when I'm done with the Pelicans after.
Well, they're not going to pick him because he's coming off of the board in about 10 seconds here in Charlotte.
So Murda made a really good point, and I highlighted the comment. As a casual fan, I've never heard of even the third pick in this draft. Is it a weak draft or is it just one and dones that I don't follow?
No, he's not. It's not.
Harper was a one and done.
This whole draft for the last 5 years has been complete trash. There's not enough names to even have this, which is why it's on a Wednesday night, the same night that we do our podcast. And we probably have more viewers than what they do because we definitely have more personality than Kendrick Perkins. It's just not there. It doesn't have the hype that the NFL draft has because the college game does it right and they focus on a lot of different people. And college basketball, you got Duke, and nobody gives about Duke.
So right now, the 8th best available player, according to Jay Billis, is a dude who went to BYU whose first name is Igor. Does anybody think that a guy named Igor is going to be good in the NBA? I don't. There's so many guys that are not good. There you go. There's your boy. Just got picked by the Hornets.
Yes.
Right.
Let's go.
That's his mom.
Stacey's mom's got it going on.
Jeez.
So Nick's celebrating. Jordan gets his white guy. Everybody's happy. And the first Dookie is off the board.
That's his little brothers who apparently are pretty good too.
Some stuff. And let me guess where they're going to school.
Yeah. Hey, Tommy.
Tommy, we just got another Dookie taken off the board. Jordan gets his white guy.
Yeah, but I think Dylan Harper's mom's hotter than Con Knip's mom. That's just me.
Okay, we're gonna have to maybe do a little research and a little checking into that. let's talk about.
She was on the side of him when he just got interviewed. You didn't see it?
Oh, that was I thought that was his sister. That's his mom.
That was an ESPN person.
I think that's his mom, and that's why Ron Harper is probably so tired.
I was just about to say things are starting to make sense. I thought that was a sister or a girlfriend. That's his mom. Yeah, okay. I get you, Ron. I take back everything bad that I said about you, sir. Let's talk about what's happening in the Eastern Conference right now of the NBA. Boston is tearing their team down to the studs. Drew Holiday is gone. Kristaps Porzingis is gone. There's rumors that by the end of the week, Derek White and maybe even Jaylen Brown could be gone. I don't know that both of them, but maybe one or the other. They're big in luxury tax hell, and they're saying, hey, we're not paying Jason Tatum ain't going to play, and he tore his Achilles, he's not going to play. Damian Lillard tore his Achilles, is not going to play. Giannis probably wants out. Halliburton tore his Achilles, is not going to play. The Knicks would be probably next in line. No one wants to coach them. What the hell's going on in the Eastern Conference, dude? Who the hell's going to go to the finals next year? It's a mess.
Sixers.
I like how the Celtics know they're going to be bad next year, so they're like, let's just burn the house down, keep our stud. When he comes back in 2 years, we're going to have a couple good draft picks.
But they're acting like Tatum's going to be out forever. Why wouldn't they want Drew Holiday 2 years from now?
Drew Holiday's at the end of his road.
He's going to be as old as Ron Harper in 2 years.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. Pelicans are 2 picks from now on the board. We got Utah and Washington picking before them, and we will see what New Orleans ends up getting. But boys, before we get a little closer to the New Orleans Pelicans pick here, we got to talk about the NBA Finals, which went to 7 games. We had the Thunder win the championship. They beat Indiana. My first question to you all, if Halliburton doesn't go down, which he goes down and it's like a 1 or 2 point game, he's playing well, he's making shots. And I know we could play the what-if game forever. If Halliburton doesn't go down, do we have a different NBA champion today?
The way he started that game out, maybe so. Like, he was lighting it up. I wouldn't consider him a scorer, but dude was scoring in the first quarter. So he's shooting Steph Curry deep threes, and he's knocking them down. It looked like Pacers were going to take that game early on.
I know that Indiana did hang around for a little while after, but it just kind of felt like somewhere around the middle of the third quarter, they were like, okay, TJ McConnell's our best player right now. We're not winning at all. It felt like they just kind of let go of the rope a little bit, whereas I don't think that would have happened if they would have still had Halliburton.
I feel like that happened in spurts every game, though. You gave Halliburton a rest, you bring in TJ McConnell off the bench, and then it's just the TJ show. Like, that guy's driving, getting to the lane, getting layups, making steals, getting assists, and he was just fun to watch. And we got our 5 we're gonna have in there. Once they come out, it's the TJ show.
What is that?
I've never been more embarrassed for white basketball in my entire life than what was just on TV, and their names are KKKKKKKK. Like, what is going on?
I was about to mention that. That's probably too many Ks for some organizations.
You're not wrong. You are certainly not wrong. That is a very interesting family that Michael Jordan has just bought stock into. Utah has now got their pick in. We'll tell you who that is in just a second. But
how did they not get the first pick?
Because the Mavericks rigged the draft.
Yeah, say the Mavericks.
Or the commissioner rigged the draft.
The Pelicans should have been 4th at worst.
Ace Bailey, who reportedly is like an egomaniac kind of sort of, no way Utah picks that dude, right? That has conflict written from the start.
Utah wanted Concaniple so bad.
They're furious right now. We'll find out. Tommy, would we have a new champion if Halliburton stayed healthy?
I don't think he would have pulled it out, but I will say this. They just need to just build him the statue right now. I don't think after everything that was said about him this season, overrated, this and that, people doubting him and all that, after what he said and what he went out there and did and laid it on the line, he's not paying for a meal ever in the rest of his life in that state, at least in that city. He put it on the line. I think a lot of people wouldn't have. Maybe a certain LeBron James would have probably, I need to prolong my career and think about my future. And Tyrese Halliburton, I think, might have, maybe on a second contract, obviously would have another max or 2 coming. Kind of risked it. I got to give him props.
And to Tommy's point and what he's referencing there, he said from the surgery table, I would do it over and over and over again. Says he has no regrets. He said what was at risk is not anything compared to what we were trying to do, which is do something special for the city. That was an awesome statement, Damien. There's not very many athletes like Tyrese Halliburton who's willing to do those types of things.
So speaking of those injuries and the number of injuries that you listed earlier, I was listening to Matt Barnes on a podcast this week. I believe he has maybe something with Steven Jackson, which is insane.
Is it Up in Smoke podcast or something like that?
It's not the Knipple family. And he mentioned that the number of games that these young men are playing or these young ladies are playing from middle school on is having a tremendous effect on those injuries. Is that up for debate, or is it just that the number of games, or is the actual amount of time that you spend on the floor, whether it be in training, whether it be a trainer that's just taking your money and not giving you anything for it? What do y'all feel about that?
I don't buy that. I saw exactly what you were talking about, but like dudes used to play 80 and 82 games in the NBA every year. I have a theory, and I've been saying it for a couple of years now. I really believe, and by the way, Ace Bailey was picked by the Utah Jazz. I think that the NBA guys, frankly, now lollygag the entire season. So when we go to the playoffs and then all of a sudden it's not lollygag time, their bodies are not ready. 90% of the injuries that we see are happening in the postseason because it's a different sport. We go from playing flag football to tackle football overnight. Just look at the way the game's officiated. And I really think that part of it is like these guys just aren't physically ready for what's coming up in the postseason because they got 82 games of battle scars from playing sissy ball, frankly, where no one's trying and no one's hustling. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
That's a damn good point.
Let's take a look at the shoes that these guys are wearing at tearing their Achilles. Kobe, low top. We got Damian Lillard, low top.
Yeah.
We got Tyrese Halliburton, low top. We need to get back to those old, ugly, bulky, high top shoes. Strap them up and let's play some ball.
Somebody did mention that there was something on X about that, and Kevin Durant replied saying that that's not the case. But you talking to a dude didn't
he tear his Achilles too?
I would say he's tore.
Have you seen his legs?
On every team.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen his legs?
Yeah,
they're like 3 inches.
Very nice.
Wide.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know you were getting out on that one.
Kevin Durant.
Washington Wizards on the clock right now, but we got about 5-10 minutes before the Pelicans pick. We got to shout out our boy TJ McConnell. If you would have told me on April the 1st, be prepared because in the NBA Finals, it's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder going 7, slinging bullets with TJ McConnell. I first would have laughed. I second would have said, what the team is TJ McConnell on? And then I third would have laughed again. But yet here we were for a lot of the NBA Finals. It was Halliburton not 100%. It was McConnell doing like adult league stuff, getting into the lane, shooting bank shots from 10 feet away. And we've never seen anything like this. This dude who's played for like 10, 12 years, averages like 6 or 7 points for his career. And then all of a sudden he's thrown into the finals and he becomes like John Havlicek, Mr. Fundamental, just like killing it. He is going to look back at this 20 years from now and tell that story. And even his grandkids are going to be like, that's not true. I've seen your stats. You're lying, Pawpaw. But that's exactly what he did the last couple of weeks.
Guy can get to whatever spot on the floor he wants to. And he's money from mid-range. He can make a layup. He can get in the lane with the big guys and make a layup. He's feisty on defense, getting steals. He's good. He's getting assists. The dude was averaging 11.3 points a game for the first 6 games of the finals. In game 7, 16.6 rebounds and 3 assists on 8 for 13 shooting in 28 minutes. They were giving him minutes, and the dude was out there producing. Was he blowing up their offense by not running any plays and just trying to get to the goal? Who knows? He was productive when he was out there.
Yeah, he sure was. Damien, I didn't think we would see the McConnell show at any point in our lives in a postseason setting. That's what we got, and frankly, it didn't look all that bad.
No, at the end of the day, the guy plays hard. He knows his role. He's not trying to do too much. He's an energy guy. All those attributes leads to him getting minutes, and he delivered way more than anyone ever expected. And for the white delegation, it was a good showing. If he would be ranked probably top 5 in the Dave Chappelle racial draft if we redid that today.
Right. Yeah. So McConnell deserves his props. Attaboy to him. And now it's going to be curious. I think he's a free agent. I'm curious to see, like, can he cash in on this? Got a 1 or 2 year deal, maybe $10, $12 million a year from Indiana based on what he was able to do in the finals. Let's talk about this for a second. We go now to the LSU baseball team. They win the national championship. They roll through the College World Series without a loss. They now are in a situation where, fellas, they're set up. If you look at what they have coming back, it's a great core coming back. You look at the dude that's coaching them in Jay Johnson, who right after they won the championship was miserable because he was realizing, like, hey, now it's time to start recruiting. Like, he had that Nick Saban vibe of, like, I don't want to be celebrating. I want to be in the portal right now. And in his post-game news conference, he's saying to people in the portal, like, hey, you got to come to LSU. I really think, and a lot of baseball people that have spoke to are saying this is like a young Nick Saban at LSU type of thing, except Jay Johnson's not ever going to go to the MLB like Nick Saban did. LSU set up. He's won 2 natties in 4 years. A lot of people are saying they're going to be preseason top 3 next year. They're going to have a number 1 recruiting class again. Everybody in the portal's lined up and has LSU on their list. Look out. It's about ready to be a prolonged run of success where the Tigers are going to be going to Omaha just about every year.
But he's a Nick Saban with transfer portal.
Right.
Which is different. Nick Saban didn't have the transfer portal when he was in his prime. This guy does, Jay Johnson. And it can get nasty with the talent that we're going to get at LSU. LSU seems like the place where people want to play. Maybe I'm a little biased, but it seems like the place where you want to go. You didn't get recruited by LSU at first. You're pissed off. You go play somewhere else. 2 years later, you come back to LSU.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm sorry, Damien, I didn't mean to cut you off, but why wouldn't you want to go? Paul Skeens, nobody knew who he was. He was a two-way player playing offense at Air Force. Goes to LSU, he becomes a robot who's now dating a supermodel who's now number 1 in the draft. Like, they developed the out of you, man. Like, that's part of it too.
There's no doubt that the road is paved for Jay Johnson to have whatever success may fall and that he may work for. But devil's advocate here, if that $20 million NIL cap comes in, obviously LSU football is going to get the lion's share of that. LSU basketball is hot right now. They're going to get some money. Where does that leave Jay Johnson? Does that piss him off? Does he want to go to a school where baseball's first? That's starting to be my concern if this cap hits.
The only counterpoint that I would have is that now in baseball, they're passing 33 players on the roster, but it's 33 full scholarships. Baseball used to have this ridiculous thing where you would get 12 scholarships or whatever for your 40 players. And LSU is saying that they are one of the schools that is opting into funding 33 scholarships, full scholarships. A lot of other schools don't take their college baseball programs seriously, so that's an advantage that LSU is going to have on top of some NIL stuff. And I think also it's going to be a situation where he's got the ability to tell dudes, like, yeah, you might be giving up a little bit up front, not going to the MLB draft. But just look what we did with Paul Skeens. Just look what we did with, Anderson, who's going to be the first pick in the draft coming up in a couple weeks. Look what we did with Anthony Ianson, who when he transferred to LSU, we were like, who the hell is this dude? He's like from this small school in California, now going to be a first-round pick. Look what they're doing with Chase Shores, who for 3 months of the season couldn't throw a strike. Then in Omaha, he becomes Wild Thing Ricky Vaughn and is just striking everybody out. I think that's going to be the big selling point is, look, you could win, you could be a celebrity here, and you're going to get that money on the back end.
My concern is he's going to have to continue to find these diamond-in-the-rough type of players that he could develop. You mentioned Chase Shores. Do you think him and Mott hang out on the offseason?
Why is that?
He's from Midland.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Chase Shores has a dilemma. Chase Shores ended the season like Mariano Rivera, just dominating, throwing 102, striking out everybody. And now he's on draft boards. He's a draft-eligible sophomore, but he had Tommy John surgery. But there's a lot of LSU fans who are saying, yeah, you're going to be a 4th or 5th round pick, Chase. And yeah, you can go make some money, but guess what? If you come back to school, we'll slide you a little NIL cash. He is a starter by trade. If you could do as a starter what you did in relief, guess what? You're Paul Skeens and you're going number 1 overall next year.
You're dating the hottest gymnastic.
You're dating her.
Yeah. God, we kept her in the shot tonight.
That's some good. That's maybe the best possible NIL situation. I mean, maybe some guys don't need cash. Maybe they just need.
No, every dude needs that.
So he's one of the guys that we'll be paying attention to.
You are listening to the Group Chat Podcast.
Look at this dude's suit. Good God
Little
almighty.
Rascals suit.
The Wizards just took Trey Johnson, and the Wizards are absolutely dysfunctional, and they just drafted a dude who's going to fit in beautifully. That
He looks like he goes to the same school as Matilda.
right.
I'm really glad the Pelicans did not draft him solely based on that outfit.
Dude, what is that? He is wearing a black suit that looks like it's a female business suit on the top, and then on the bottom it's shorts.
That's the buckwheat suit from Little Rascals.
That is absolutely
That's not his name?
With two bad white socks.
Yeah, and the long side. Right. Oh, my God. Oh, geez.
You better be good at basketball.
Yeah, and looking at his highlights, he does look like he's pretty solid, but Jesus almighty. How does your agent or your publicist or whoever let you leave the house like that? Like, who tailored that and told him, hey, Trey, that looks amazing. That's the one.
Probably a Knipple family.
The Pelicans have 2 more minutes.
Y'all the Pelicans experts. Who are they picking right here?
The stupidest person possible. Tommy.
Igor Denham.
Tommy, who the Pelicans about to pick?
They're about to pick the freaking 5'6", 17-year-old point guard from Oklahoma.
5'6" point guard from Oklahoma, Baudreaux says. I think it's the center from Duke.
Duke center.
Yeah, I think it's the Duke center, which doesn't make sense because you got Yevs Misi.
Our one bright spot this season, and we're going to pick his replacement.
And by the way, he's like 19, so he doesn't need a replacement.
I would love one of those white point guards, either him or the dude from Illinois.
So Tommy actually wants the guy from BYU. Okay.
What about
Pick his
Jukanoas?
It would be a very Pelicans thing for them to pick a Duke guy. So that's where my allegiance is.
The pick is in. We'll see what the Pelicans decide to go with. All right, Mr. Adam Silver. Jeremiah Fears, the 5'6" point guard from Oklahoma that Tommy didn't want.
I love it. I love Jeremiah Fears.
Hey, President Trump, what do you think about the Pelicans draft selection?
That they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that?
I agree.
Jeremiah Fears. Tommy said he's 5'6". He's not actually 5'6".
I thought for sure we're getting that idiot from Duke.
So
At
Jeremiah.
least he's got a better suit.
Hey, he wears 0. That's a plus.
Yeah.
Last season at Oklahoma, 6'4", dude. 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 43% from the field. In the SEC tournament, he slayed 29 points, 28 points. Then in the NCAA tournament, he had 20 in their opening round loss against Connecticut.
It just said he was a mid-season finalist for the Wooden Award.
That means you didn't
He had a good start, but he f***ed up the rest of the season.
He skipped high school. He should have been graduating this year, but he played in college.
Y'all want to hear something that'll maybe make you guys less excited? They lost to LSU at home this year, 82-79, and he was 5 of 15, so he wasn't getting buckets. Look, to Nick's point here, down the stretch of the season, except for in the SEC tournament, my guy was ass. Against Auburn, 1 of 8, Tennessee, 3 of 8, Missouri, 3 of 13, LSU, 5 of 15. He had a 4 of 14. He had a 2 of 14. He had some games there that the engine wasn't quite running, but Jeremiah Fears is the guy for the Pelicans.
Shooting is not his strong point. Let's hope he can play some defense, maybe.
Well, he has games that he lights it up, so it's like Boomer, but they just drafted Marcus Thornton. Like some games he kills it.
Man, I love Marcus Thornton on the Hornets.
Tom, give me a letter grade, Tommy. A, B, C, D, F.
If it stays like this and they don't trade him with a package, because the NBA is famous for that after the fact, give me it a C.
See? Think that's fair? I see. Yeah.
I'm giving it an A+.
A+.
As a shirt maker, somebody with the last name Fears is money. I like this guy. I'm back on board. Let's go Pelicans.
Oh,
where's all this size hate coming from? Just checking Twitter. Undersized guard with no length. He shot 44% in the rim and under 30% from 3. Will be picked on defensively. This will have to be a guy that has to overcome his size limitation.
He's 6'4". Tommy over here saying he's 5'6". This is ESPN listing him 6'4". That means Oklahoma had him 6'4". He very well could have gone to the combine and been 6'1". That I don't know.
And the last sentence on that tweet. Only a matter of time before Pelicans go full rebuild. That's what you want to hear after your first-round draft pick.
Casey just said that he can't shoot. Damien just read that
he can't defend.
He's a defensive liability. Okay.
Fits beautifully. I use NBADraft.net a lot because player comparison is Doc Rivers and Brandon Knight.
Oh, I used to love
championship.
Is that a ceiling floor with Doc Rivers being the ceiling and Brandon Knight being the floor?
Yeah, I don't know. Weaknesses, 28% on threes, not a high-level shooter in high school. Shot mechanics were good. Streaky from deep, needs to have greater consistency from three. Must be a better decision maker and cut down on his turnovers.
A good free throw shooter. Thanks, ESPN.
Yeah, that's what we need. Lights out.
So Fears measured 6'2.5" barefoot at the combine.
Yep, that's where we're getting the size thing. He was listed as 6'4", but apparently he's 6'2". But even still, that's not extremely
as much as Kim.
6'4" in shoes. You have 2-inch heels on your shoes.
Got those shoes off of TikTok that make you taller.
It's the same thing they were talking about with Ace Bailey, though. Apparently he was 6'10". They measured him at the combine. He's like 6'7".
One of my jobs when I was at South Lafourche was to. Oh, can I just hang up on this asshole? I just did. It's not that night.
Tommy's gone.
One of my jobs was to put rosters in the programs. Everybody was 6'5".
Oh yeah, look. There's no way Zion Williamson is the height that they claim that he is because he's like my height. I've been to games. I mean, he's obviously taller than me before somebody comments, but he's not 6'8" or whatever like they say that he is. All these guys, they do a little embellishing for sure.
Is this the same guy that played at Michigan State?
His brother, Jeremy, played at Michigan State.
All right. So his brother got shot in 2023. So there's that.
Oh, that's lovely.
There's one shooter in the family.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, this might be the end right here. Tommy, you got hung up on, dude.
Oh, I'm fully aware. I knew that. I was about to hang up, too. I'm like a neglected stepchild over here.
I've hung up on some folks in the last couple weeks.
I mean, it's just something, some sore winners over there.
Mouth breathers.
Are you expecting to have a phone conversation with that gentleman tomorrow, perhaps?
Something tells me. Has he called in yet?
Oh, yeah. He's called a couple times since then. We've made peace. He's a member of the family again.
Oh, okay.
He's
probably.
a bit much for me.
Who owns Port Fourchon, Tommy?
I have inside information on that, and I'm about to write a Cliff Note research paper on that for you tomorrow.
Beautiful. Look out for that tomorrow. Tommy's going to be on the sidebar. The Brooklyn Nets are about ready to pick somebody who's probably going to be terrible. Let's see what Adam Silver has to say. Tommy just sounds like they just picked his child. He was moaning.
They pick his kid.
They picked his boy.
Did him.
They can't keep score. They picked Tommy's kid.
Igor
Dirty.
Dimon. There's no way this dude's going to be good, Tommy.
He's good. Did you not watch him play last year?
His name's Igor. There's no way he's going to be good.
Igor Jeans.
Because he's from Russia. That's very common. That's like Eric in Russia.
The last guy that was good at BYU, and I'm going to break your heart, was not worth the in the NBA.
He was unfairly casted off and destroyed people everywhere else he went.
Ty Detmer?
Let's talk about this. Let's make some predictions before we do World Cup and before we do Rank That. Jake Paul, knockout, yes or no, everybody?
That's tough because
Cesar Chavez doesn't go to sleep often.
He has fought and beat some really, really good fighters. And I don't consider
pronouns, pal. Who's he?
Cesar Chavez.
Okay.
I don't consider Jake Paul on that level. And everybody's saying Jake Paul's going to win this fight. The one conspiracy I don't believe in. I don't think it's rigged. But
he went the distance with Canelo Alvarez for 12 rounds, right, to your point.
But when was that?
2017.
Yeah. I think we got some age.
And by the way, he did lose 12-0. I mean, he lost 120 to 108. So he lost every round, but he still went the difference.
Yeah, just the fact that you're still standing after 12 rounds in front of the best boxer.
His last fight was at, I think, 197, and I don't know what this fight's going to be at. But, I mean, I want to say Cesar Chavez, unanimous decision.
Oh, you're going Cesar Chavez to win?
Yes.
Oh.
Nick, let me back you up on that. You're not the only one. Jake Paul is a minus 600 favorite to win the fight, with Chavez a sizable plus 450. despite those odds, the public has been siding with Chavez with 85.5% of the wagers.
Yeah, but look, that's he could be fighting kitchen table, and they're going to bet on the kitchen table because they want Jake Paul to lose.
96% of the money wagered on the underdog.
Now, they do have a common opponent. Jake Paul beat Anderson Silva. Cesar Chavez lost to Anderson Silva. But I thought that the Anderson Silva fight with Jake Paul was much closer than the judges' scorecards.
And Anderson Silva's not a boxer. I mean, he's a striker, not a boxer. His feet do the talking for him. I wouldn't put much water on that or whatever Damien says about his doesn't hold much water.
That's a Gorilla Monsoon.
I know. I butchered it.
So I'm going Paul to win via decision. Nick's going Chavez to win via decision. Damien?
Being that I've seen highlights of Chavez's last couple of fights, he looks every bit of 39, I believe. His weight is extremely elevated. I believe he won the WBC championship at 156 or 160, and now that fight is going to be somewhere near 190. I'm going to go Jake Paul in a decision. I don't think he gets him out of there. I think it's one of those gentleman agreements. Same thing he did with Tyson.
Tommy?
Being as my extensive boxing knowledge was just stolen by Damien in the notes, Jake Paul is going to knock him out in like the 4th or 5th round.
Next boxing question. Deontay Wilder. That's going to be knockout city this weekend, right? I mean, what round? I know you said earlier it would be embarrassing. That was your quote. If you didn't knock him out, what round?
Within 1 or 2 minutes of the first round.
See, I think the dude's going to be good enough at like running away for a while. I'm going to go middle of the second round. I think he hurts him at the end of the first, gets him out in the middle of the second. Damien?
I'm going to go 3. I don't know why. That's just my intuition telling me that Deontay has been out the ring for a little bit. He's probably going to want to get that feel back for just being in the ring again. Obviously, he's doing this to catapult himself to another big fight. I just think he gets a couple of rounds in. And just FYI, Paul and Chavez Jr. is going to be contested at cruiserweight, which is at the 200-pound limit.
I'm going Wilder in 3 because I know it won't go 7.
Okay. Question.
Solid.
How many punches do you think Deontay Wilder's going to land in that first round?
Jabs included?
Yes.
I'm going to go
19.
I'm going to go 30.
Okay. How many power punches alone you think he's going to land?
I just said 19. 13.
I'm going to go 0.
Do you think Herndon can take 13 power punches from Deontay Wilder in the first round and make it out the round?
I think taking, no. Avoiding, yes.
Wilder, I just don't see, like, once that straight right comes out.
Okay, but he doesn't throw a straight right. He throws a wide looping right.
He throws that weird jab and then straight right, and one of those, and Herndon's going down.
I hope you're right, because I do like Deontay Wilder. Just don't think he's any good, dude. Last time I saw him was last June. He got the shit knocked out of him by some Chinese dude that I don't even know who he was.
He's like 7 foot something, that Chinese guy.
Yeah, that's a big motherfucker.
There's a bald bull from Punch Out. 42-year-old Chinese guy knocked him out.
What's his nickname?
And the next time that guy fought, he got knocked out.
What's that Chinese guy's nickname?
Big Bang.
Big Bang.
Bang Shrimp.
So
solid bald bull reference.
Yeah, like Tommy, go pull up his picture, dude. He looks just like bald bull. Like I don't know that Wilder has it anymore. I hope you're right. I hope he looks good, because I'd love to see him beat Jake Paul.
Wilder might not have it to beat top guys anymore. Herndon never had it.
Would Wilder beat Jake Paul tomorrow?
Easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too big.
All right.
Hey, so real quick, before we jump off the boxing train, on the Jake Paul Chavez Jr. undercard is Holly Holm.
Yes.
She started as she was a Hooters waitress. I was real big into boxing back when she was in her heyday. She's 43 now, but she used to actually fight in a Hooters uniform. Got really good. Went to
MMA, kicked ass.
The UFC.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
did she beat Rousey?
I think they had some back and forth battles, I believe. I'm not sure if she won or not, but
she did. No, she beat Rousey Rousey's heyday.
Is that the arm bar?
She hasn't fought.
Knockout.
She hasn't fought in
knockout
12 years
on the boxing.
On the
side.
boxing, yeah. 33, 2 and 3.
Holly Holm's nickname 3 Mile Island, because that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
What's going on with Shannon Briggs, dude? Nothing on Box Rec anymore. Well, it was there.
Apparently, it's Les Paul's champ.
All right, but we got a MLS team that is in the round of 16 at the FIFA Club World Cup. Messi, dude. If Messi brings this home, we need to elect him to the Senate, something. He needs to get some sort of permanent status in the cabinet. Because I thought the MLS would get ran out of this thing. But, man, our little old team from Miami making some things happen. Nick, what's going on, bro?
I have no idea because I didn't realize this thing was still going on. I did not know about this. I saw a couple matches earlier, but then I completely forgot about it after watching LSU and NBA stuff.
How many coaches they got on that little team?
Tommy, I think you put this on the list. What's going on, man? Our little MLS team's kicking some ass, bro.
I'm shocked because I put this on a tee for our lovely we will win Mr. America over here.
And
he doesn't even know anything about it.
Thought he's Lexi Lawless.
I've been watching the FIFA Club World Cup because they're trying to cater to the Euro team, so they put it on in like mid-afternoon. That's why the American attendance is so terrible because it's prime time overseas. And as magical as the Messi and Miami run has been, it's about to end because they're playing PSG, who just won the freaking Champions League coming up. So I think their Cinderella story is ending soon.
Who else is left in the knockout rounds?
Well, it's not finalized yet in the group stages. I think they still play tomorrow and Friday. Right now, I think there's only 4 spots left to be determined. And the big players that are into round of 16 are Dortmund, Bayern Munich, PSG, Chelsea, Benfica, and then they have a bunch of Brazilian teams that got in Man City.
I know that soccer fans are all over this, but for me, just a casual, this has been so entertaining. It was like you got some of the best European teams who will like face off with the club champion of some small country and win 11-0. It has been so fascinating to me watching the haves face the have-nots and just seeing the skill difference. It's been crazy to see. You'll have the NBA's version of the Thunder facing Nichols in a match. And it's just crazy to see the skill and talent level gap, because you don't often get that in the world of sports.
It's got some big dance type feels, and the games you're talking about is when Byron's like beating the team that their goalie's like a plumber by trade, and like these dudes
Rory
don't
out there
paid.
trying to block some shots.
Yeah, Rory out there with the cup just blocking left and right. And so you have those kind of games like 10-0, 6-0, 7-0, but equally what you have is some of these big European powerhouses getting stunned by these like South American teams who this is all they do. They're really just destroying some of these bigger teams and their fans. This is like the fans World Cup, because some of these Brazilian guys aren't good enough to make the Brazilian national team, so they're traveling obviously because it's logistically closer. It's a lot of surprise upsets. It's fun. For the next couple of weeks in the knockouts, I think will be a little better. It's getting paid more attention to than I thought it would. I don't know if that's only because it's here, but it seems to be being watched more by everyone not in Europe, because Europe's used to hosting all the big and bad tournaments.
So no more wins for Messi?
I would be highly shocked. If they beat the best team in the world, I will be really shocked.
Yep, very good. So that kind of wraps up the first part of this, but now we got our Rank That segment, which I'm looking forward to. We got an awesome list here. This is going to be very interesting to see where we go here.
Every week we try to come at you with some different stuff, especially right now, being that sports is not too hot, not a lot going on with the finals done, college baseball done. So just trying to bring some joy and laughter into your living room or bedroom or bathroom, wherever you're listening to us. We appreciate it. So we have a segment called Rank That, where we are going to take a topic. We are going to give 4 to 5 choices. Tommy decided to add 20 to one of them. And we're going to go 1 to 5. 1 be the top, and whatever that last number will be at the bottom. So the first Rank That is going to be 2025 Championships, College Edition. We got football, Ohio State. Basketball, Florida. Baseball, LSU. I think I know everybody's number 1 at this entire panel, including the person on the phone. This is pretty easy for me. It's going to be LSU baseball, number 1. Ohio State football, number 2, getting through the expanded playoffs. And Florida, number 3, because they tried to lose that game against Auburn and they couldn't.
I'm going to go LSU baseball 1, but I'm going to flip-flop there. I'm going to go Florida, number 2, Ohio State, number 3. because in the old format, Ohio State wouldn't even have made the playoff. They got hot and they earned it from there, but I'll go Florida 2, Ohio State 3.
Okay, I'll go LSU number 1, and like Casey said, I'll have Florida number 2. Basketball and football, I didn't even think the best team or anywhere close to the best team won the championship. So Florida number 2, I think there was plenty of better teams out there that should have won. And Ohio State number 3, because I didn't think they were good all season. That Michigan game,
it looked terrible.
They couldn't move the ball at all. So when they kept on winning in the playoffs, I'm like, oh man, what's going on? These teams should be beating Ohio State. And kudos to them. They won the championship. I didn't think they were that good.
Oh, Tommy, tell us how great Florida is.
I'm just going to respond to these erroneous allegations. I added a couple to these, and when I went back, somebody went haywire on it, so I don't want to hear it. Ranking-wise, I'm going Florida basketball 1. As much as it pains me to say this, Ohio State, football number 2, and then LSU baseball number 3.
All right, fair enough.
Worst places to be during a terrible hangover. Your choices: being interviewed live on the radio. Done it. 8 a.m. youth baseball game in August without indoor plumbing. Being forced to go fishing at 5 a.m. Done it. 9 a.m. arraignment at Orleans Parish Criminal Court in the summer. Take a guess at who added that one.
I've done the radio thing. It's really not that bad. I feel like 8 a.m. youth baseball in August without indoor plumbing would be miserable, because even if you're not hungover, being outside in August is not ideal. So I'm going baseball worst. I'm going arraignment second. I'm going fishing 5 a.m. third. I'm going interview on radio fourth.
So being I've experienced a few of these, the 5 a.m. fishing after being out till 4:30 is not good at all. I've taken a fishing trip and I just slept the entire time on the bottom of the boat, was forced to fish, caught one, pretty much said, I threw it at the dude, which was Tommy's dad, and it was done. That's the worst. I can't imagine being at a youth baseball game in August. I can't imagine being at a youth baseball game, period, especially in the hottest month possible.
That's 10, Bruce.
That's where I'm going. I'm going to go radio last, and I'm going to just put arraignment because I wouldn't want to be arraigned at 9 a.m. or any time in Orleans Parish Court.
Yeah.
Definitely the worst is the 8 a.m. baseball. You're probably in 90 to 100-degree weather, and that's never good when you're hungover.
Surrounded by Karens.
Yeah. The next one would be the arraignment. If you're indoors, last place you want to be is in court. Then fishing would be my third, and radio, which doesn't seem so bad. You're in air condition. You could just bomb the radio. And
you have Travis naked behind you.
Yeah.
Not so bad. Tommy?
I added this one because 2 of us have experienced one of these at Orleans Parish Criminal Court. So I thought it would be amusing to see what Nick would say.
Me?
Yeah, when you were locked up.
Oh, that was actually St. Charles.
Up.
Oh, never mind. My worst, because I'm going in, first being the worst, 9 a.m. arraignment, because that means I've either got another DUI or I'm about to potentially lose my job being drunk in front of a judge. Second is going to go 8 a.m. youth sports event with no indoor plumbing. I'm assuming I'm going to experience that really soon. Third, live radio interview, because, if it's on the radio, nobody can really see me, and I could just talk like Jaro or Mott, least amount.
Well, I agree.
And the last is fishing. The last is fishing at 5 a.m. because even though you're hungover, you could just drink and power through it and then pass out when you come back.
Nothing better than Tommy's dad banging on your camp door. Y'all gotta come and wake up. I'm not getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning just for y'all to sleep. Next on the rank that is Adam Sandler movies. You got Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Waterboy, Big Daddy, Mr. Deeds, and Little Nicky.
Tell you what, that list you read them is pretty close. I'm gonna go Madison 1, Gilmore 2, Waterboy 3, Deeds 4, Little Nicky 5, Big Daddy 6.
See, you're not a dad. Big Daddy's tough for me to even watch right now. I'm going to go Billy Madison is definitely my favorite. Happy Gilmore right after that. I'm going to go Mr. Deeds. I'm going to go Big Daddy right after that. Waterboy, Little Nicky. I wouldn't even put Little Nicky on the list. Didn't make the first cut.
Yeah, same here. I've never seen Little Nicky, and anytime I see a trailer or something for it, it gives me the creeps.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
it's
not bad.
It's not with that.
It was right when he first started to mail it in. You could sense that like the end of his push was coming, which, by the way, that terrifies me about Happy Gilmore too. I'm afraid it's going to be awful, but anyway, continue.
This might get me roasted in the chat, but I think Waterboy's a terrible movie. Didn't like
You're a
it.
terrible movie.
I'd go Happy Gilmore 1, Billy Madison 2, Mr. Deeds 3. I'm missing one because we had 6 and I only got 5 on my list, and I got Waterboy and Little Nicky like far down the list.
Big Daddy.
Yeah, but Big Daddy up there. But number 3, Mr. Deeds 4, and figure it out yourself for Waterboy and Little Nicky.
Number 6, Mr. Deeds. Number 5, Waterboy. Number 4, Little Nicky. Very underrated, cult classic. Number 3, Big Daddy. 2, Happy Gilmore. 1, which is probably in the running for greatest movie ever, Billy Madison.
Tommy, not enough love for Mr. D's. That's a classic.
I'd like to change your socks, sir.
Me and one the artist formerly known as Bon, were huge Little Nicky fans.
Next on the list, white American, non-ice NBA players. We're going Larry Bird, John Stockton, Chris Mullin, Mark Price, Dan Marley.
Man, I know that Larry Bird was the best player, but he didn't have the best career. John Stockton did. He played for 20-something years. Stockton 1, Bird 2, Mullin 3, Thunder Dan 4, Mark Price 5.
Stockton over Bird?
Bird was a better player. Stockton had a better career.
Stockton had better stats, maybe.
Like Stockton is the NBA's all-time assist and steals
Stockton
and all that.
had
Bird's not
records.
the first in anything.
Bird is way better. My number 1, by far, Larry Bird. Then I got Stockton 2, Chris Mullin 3, Mark Price 4, and Dan Marley 5.
Man, Mark Price was so good.
Better than Mullin?
Yeah.
Mark Price was solid.
I'm going Bird, Price, Stockton, Mullin, Marley.
Jeez.
Boudreaux?
Price over Stockton?
Yep. All he did was pass.
Stockton also has the record for steals in a career. I think.
Yep, sure does.
He was 5'2".
So here's probably the only good thing to come out of the draft tonight is that I will not say his name, but the person who was drafted first was the first white American since 1977 to be picked number 1.
Who was the last one?
We got that on our little trivia game probably about a month and a half ago. Kent Benson.
Jesus, that sounds like a WWE jobber.
That was one of the 3 first-round picks we could not remember in our little Sporkle game.
Yeah. Oh, we still didn't remember him. We didn't learn anything.
Where the hell is Jerry West or Kevin McHale on this list?
Right.
Kevin McHale was slightly left off because I was trying to keep it to 5 because I knew we had to actually remember the rankings. And I didn't want to put on anybody that I never watched play.
Okay, I could see that. I could see that for Jerry West. But 1, Larry Bird, 2, Chris Mullin, 3, John Stockton, 4, Dan Marley, and 5, Mark Price.
Y'all sleeping on Mark
What
Price.
Mark Price ever did?
I'm going to go pull
Mark
up.
Price had Craig Elo and Steve Kerr.
And Brad Daugherty.
He was the best.
Larry Nance.
He did the white boy thing. He was the best free throw shooter ever.
He was a good free throw shooter. So was the guy that the Pelicans drafted tonight.
So was Rick Barry. Also should maybe be on the list.
I ain't going to lie here. Look, Mark Price had a 17-point and 10 assists per game season. That ain't too shabby. Like he was pretty good.
Mark Price was legit. He was a thorn in Jordan's side.
It put Elo on him.
I was about to say he couldn't even guard.
I didn't say he was guarding him. He gave him trouble.
Speaking of that, I noticed
you were in trouble when you walked in.
we didn't talk WNBA today. Interesting. Angel Reese last night, 6 of 12 shooting, 18 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. Interesting also that Caitlin Clark last night had 8 turnovers, 3 of 13 shooing. We didn't bring that up. I thought that was interesting.
Last week, both of y'all said, I'm not watching this anymore. I'm done.
Oh, I didn't watch. I bet on the I bet on the game.
Watching the WNBA.
No, I was
let me know when whatever team Reese plays on gets to 10 wins. Reese plays on gets to 10 wins.
Reese. But you see, I find it funny. No, like we talk about wins. What has Caitlin Clark ever won? Ever?
Nothing.
Thank you.
But she's winning now.
The hearts of America. That's what she's won, Casey. The only reason we are talking about the WNBA is of Caitlin Clark.
That's not what Angel Reese says. So the guys that got cease and desisted from TikTok that were betting on Angel Reese's first shot to be a miss, they've started their videos again.
They would have lost the other night, but she was one for one.
They had it on. They had it on there, right?
Yeah.
Those guys. They have replaced the image of Angel Reese in the video with random things.
Oh, I'm sure that's good.
Last night it was a bottle of baby oil.
Oh,
they don't say her name. Good. They just go through the process, and it's freaking beautiful.
I'm sure that's good, and I'm sure they also were livid. But that game that she was 1 for 1, she made a 3 that she had no business making. That's a tough way to lose.
One of the guys that's featured in the video was dressed as like a banana, and he's like, "I got all dressed up for this," and they were all disappointed. They're taking that in stride. I think it's pretty cool.
Good deal.
It's not gonna end well for them.
I mean, they're not saying her name. They're not showing her. I don't know. You're the legal expert. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about that. It's funny. It's entertaining. Best of the worst Saints quarterback to start a game from 1990 current day. Again, we went with 5. Not every quarterback's in there. So relax. The choices are Ian Book, Heath Schuler, Danny Werfel, the Billy Joes, it's a combo ranking, and Trevor Siemian.
When we say best of the worst, number 1 is the guy who was the worst?
Let's go number 1 as best. Let's keep it
like the actual best player, number 1. Okay. Siemian won, so I'm going to go him first. He actually won. His stats sucked, but they won games. I'm going to go... Now we fall off a cliff now. Billy Joe 2... Schuler 3, Werfel 4, and I can't give Ian Book anything worse than last, but he was the worst quarterback I've ever seen that Monday night.
Yeah, I don't think this is that difficult. Heath Schuler would be my number 1.
As the best?
Yes. I think he's the only one that actually got wins. The Billy Joes probably got a couple wins. That would be my number 2.
Casey.
I got Trevor Siemian at 3. He might have got 1 win. And Werfel, who I wish would have the most wins, because I would have been a big Danny Werfel fan, and Ian Book, like Casey said, is the worst piece of shit quarterback we've ever had in our own.
That Monday night game is the worst performance I've ever seen.
Put Jake Hayner in there with him, and that could be the 2 worst quarterbacks ever to put on a Saints uniform.
Until September, baby.
with. I'm going to go with the Billy Joes first. Heath Schuler second. Strictly nothing that he did with New Orleans, just what he did in Tennessee, and the fact that he wore number 21, I cannot physically get out of my mind. Siemian would be next. Werfel, can't get the image out of my mind of his helmet being backwards. Yep. And then Ian Book is probably the worst quarterback to ever start an NFL game.
I'm going Book as the worst. If I'm going best to worst, it looks like Siemian, Schuler, Werfel, Billy Joe combo, then Ian Book.
All right, last one. Most likely to fly an American flag during an ICE protest.
I like this one.
We have John Rocker. We have Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Hulk Hogan, Curtis Ogeron, and Lee Greenwood.
Number 1, definitely John Rocker. If you follow him on X, he's a hell of a follow. Number 2, we got Hulk Hogan. 3, Lee Greenwood. I'm proud to be an America. That's who Lee Greenwood is.
Yep.
Number 4, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Probably doesn't get out too much. He's probably waving his little flag at his house, beating his kids with 2x4s. Number 4, I got Curtis Ogeron. I don't see Curtis Ogeron putting an American flag on his PVC pipe and hitting anybody with it, but prove me wrong.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan's first for me because I think he could turn an ICE protest face. I think he could get them to make a USA chant. Because that's what he does. No matter where he is. USA! Ho! Like, I think he could get them to turn face. I'm going Duggan, Rocker, Greenwood, Hogan, Ogeron.
I feel like Curtis Ogeron would just go to start drama.
Get tapped out.
Rocker is definitely number 1. I'm going Hogan, being his past escapades, is going to be number 2. I'm kind of with Nick. Duggan's probably staying at the house right now. Lee Greenwood, is he alive?
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay, I'm going to have him at 4.
Curtis Ogeron's the only one left.
And look, I just messed myself up. Curtis Ogeron is last, but those top 4, real Americans. REAL, not double E.
Number 5, least likely is Lee Greenwood. I don't think he has it in him anymore at 82 years old to go insert himself in a demonstration. Number 4, Hacksaw, because he's looking probably rougher than anybody but Lee Greenwood.
Or Ric Flair.
Yeah, maybe. Number 3, who might pull a Ric Flair after the Ice-capade comes after him, is Curtis Ogeron. Number 2 is only because he has a new beer brand to protect Hulk Hogan. Number 1, John Rock.
Very good. That's the end of this part of the game.
That's it.
That's all for today's group chat podcast. Want to thank everybody so much for listening. Thank everybody in the chat commenting. We have watched the NBA draft live with you guys. As more comes out about these trades and everything like that, we're going to cover it more next week. And we're also going to recap all the boxing stuff and everything that we talked about. We want to thank our guy, Bryce Boudreaux, for chiming in earlier in the show. Did an outstanding job. So for Nick to my right, Damien to my left, Tommy on the phone lines, you guys have a tremendous rest of the day. We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening and watching the Group Chat Podcast.
You are listening to the Group Chat Podcast.